growing up, I just always loved equipment. I guess it was because I had to mow with a reel mower. So if you push a reel around, you get loving anything that's got an engine on it. I would help my dad on Dr. Pepper truck. If something was for sale out on the highway, I always wanted him to stop. Even though I knew we couldn't buy it, I thought, well, somebody's gonna have something out there for an unbelievable price and we might be able to get it someday. And so as we would go through all these stops, any place that had mowers or tractors, I'd get up underneath them, look at them and everything, and I thought one day that would eventually build something.
So we met at my daddy's country store. Robert's dad, he was both the salesman and the delivery person on a big Dr. Pepper truck. And parents always believed in work from the smallest ages, that children needed to work.
And she's out on the store porch capping strawberries. And so she's 11 at the time and I'm 12. And so I start to leave and I wave at her, she waves back. And I thought, that's a good sign. So I'm gonna find my way down here to Oliphant.
And just a few nights later, he was at my church. And so anyway, that was how we first met. We married in '83 at 16 and 17.
We got married really young and it's like anything else, it's a struggle. We went a year without buying a soda pop. We would get up early in the morning, turn the hot water on, take our showers, we'd turn it back off, save on electricity.
We just bought fireworks from my dad and had a very small little fireworks stand.
We had made 2,400 that year, which was huge for us. We never seen that much money, We was not, big on instant gratification. We actually kept 200 of it and then invested 2,200 of it. It was something we could, look to the future and say, hey, we understand we got to tough it out here. And then, at some point we would get, enough money to, to do business. So then we started putting them stores up all across the country.
And of course, that was only like a seasonal 2-week event in the summer and then a week event during the winter. During the other months, he would pick up odd jobs. And so he had a job at a tire store about 3 years after we got married. And then Robert began selling tires wholesale. Then we built a tire store here in Batesville in '89. That was our first business here in Batesville. Then in '97, we lived over at Newport or in Diaz, and we had a big yard. And Robert always loved to make things go faster and perform better, and he always loved equipment. So he would mow and the yard, it would just take a long time. His mower would tear up.
Constantly working on a mower all the time, so I was so frustrated with that. So went to buy a mower. And when I go buy the mower, the guy says, there's a waiting list on this mower.
And they said it would be several weeks before we could get it.
I come back and I'm telling Becky, I think I can, build a mower.
When he talked about the mower and then later gets the mower, he begins looking at it and he just has this determination that he can make a mower better than that. And if that plant's going 24/7, he needs to have a plant building mowers that he can make that will go that fast and perform that well. And as Robert normally does, he was a little unrealistic about how quickly he could do that.
I'm thinking it's gonna take me just a very short period of time. It takes me longer than I thought. Spending, 90 hours a week, constantly working on it. So then I finally get the mower put together and I'm so excited, man. I'm like, we're high-fiving each other. And so I get on my yard and so I make a couple strips and I make it to the ditch. It catches on fire. So the first time I, got on the mower, it catches on fire. End up building 3 or 4 mowers, get them out in the field, and I'm thinking, I'm gonna go to Louisville. The name that I come up with was Bad Boy, because everyone in our area, if it's something cool, they call it their bad boy. So at the show in Louisville, got the most horrible product on the planet. It looks cool, but it does not perform very well at all. Crazy was, we got Product of the Year. So we're plastered on the front of the magazine. And so that was a really cool deal. And so that gives a little more confidence, so we knew there was hope. And I had the ideal, I'm thinking, what if someone built a 60-inch machine that's low cost? No one had ever done it in the market, and I'm thinking, well, I can get an engine that will perform. I can make a heavy duty deck and put it on a platform and hit a price point that I think will work. And you can imagine if you've only ever seen $7,500 machines and all of a sudden there's $49.99 one that's got a 3/16 deck, it's going to catch your attention. So then we're by ourselves for about 3 years before the competition realized that, hey, they're on to something. We got to do something. And so that really kind of propelled us, to doing lots of volume. It was so exciting.
Robert is high energy and very passionate about everything he does. This is both his strength and his weakness, is his ability to feel. That feel allows him to know how a dealer feels and what a dealer needs to be able to sell or what the public might want. That feeling also gives a lot of emotion, which that helps him to be very passionate.
You don't realize all the bumps and bruises that's going to come with a business. And so as long as you don't know the bumps and bruises, you can stay excited and you have some down times and some up times. Bad Boy, after it got going really, really well, there were some things that happened that I didn't agree with, and so there was a split in the company. And so I went in real bad depression for about a year and a half, literally could not even come to work. I went about a year and I came to work 4 times, and all 4 times I would hide my left side of my face coming into the shop because I could not stand to see the trucks, the buildings and stuff that was there. And I would park on the right-hand side of the shop, walk in that way, would not go out the back to see the stuff because I had built 18 buildings there before I left.
He kind of felt like his purpose in life was just gone. That was a very difficult period, really, for both of us, I guess. That was the only time in our married life that maybe I was the dreamer and he didn't see a dream.
In 2013, we launched the Intimidated group, and it was a product that was not finished on the market at this time, and it was a struggle because you go back from something that you're not real familiar with, and just trying to put in the hours, trying to learn. When there's a group that puts all their faith in what you're doing, it's very humbling, and but it comes with a lot of pressure too.
For the most part, I took care of the children and their schedules in the home and things going on at home. I remember the day that I left home and he called, and it had been like the 3rd day in a row he called, and just melting down really. And so when I went, I thought I'll just be here for a short amount of time. I didn't imagine it would take him that long to come through that. He had a lot of emotion, as he always does with that. And now as I look back, I have more the emotion that he had. Mine's just a different reason. Mine's a gratefulness for the experience and that he came through that. And I'm still there and learned a lot through that.
We had Intimidator, which was not yet building product. We kept the property there. There was 38 people there at the company. A lot of things that are struggles you learn from. We was able to learn manufacturing, start setting up dealers. We actually done a deal with Mahindra very early. We, built lots of units for them. The profit margins wasn't there. And it was like water going over a dam, with the payroll and everything happening without income coming in.
There at the plant, those original 38 people, we rolled up our sleeves, and it was like a teamwork thing that we're going to do this. And never did I give it a second thought that we're not going to make it to a good spot with this product.
Being depressed, I would just, if I was talking to somebody else, I'm like, hey, just get over it. Well, it ain't like just get over it. No matter how bad you want to get over it, it's really difficult. So I know it was really difficult on the team there. It's really difficult on my wife. So she says one day, she just says, hey, it's so bad for you to come into the shop. She said, you just go home.
I came home one afternoon and he said he had a napkin on that he'd been drawing on. And he said, I could make the best mower in the world. And he said, it wouldn't take me very long either. And I said, well, you ought to just do that.
So then I started on that, and it wasn't very long after that I really got my energy back. I got my passion back. And so really right here where I'm sitting is where it started.
And every day I would come home, he would have developed this idea more and more, and this dream was just coming alive quickly.
So I try to play all the roles as I build something. I play like I'm a sales guy. I play like I'm a dealer. I play like I'm a consumer. For me, I'm a very conservative buyer. So when I look at things, I want to look at the value that I'm getting. If I can give you something at value that takes away frustration and that gives you more time, that is a win no matter what it is in life. I was able to start all over from scratch, which was unreal. So trying to come out with a machine that had unreal traction control, that was unbelievable on hills, that had an unbelievable suction and cut. I knew we had to make a machine that was very competitive in the market. I really didn't want anybody at work to know, because it's something we thought we was going to launch, but you don't want to tell somebody you're going to launch something and not launch it. And so I actually took cardboard and covered all my windows and doors that's out here in the shop. So I would just mow at night in the dark.
This was going fast, and he said at first, I'm going to take my time and this will be about a 2-year project. But that was March of 15. And by summer of 15, he said,
"This is looking pretty good." Telling Becky, and she's usually like, "Man, let's wait. And I mentioned something about the mowers, about thinking about going to Louisville after 5 or 6 months. She's like, "Let's do it."
And so I pushed for that, and I immediately began getting us in that show. And the few people at work that knew about this, I began kind of pounding on them, and we began structuring and getting ready. And we were full speed ahead for this October date.
My brother Matt had brought me a Spartan logo with the helmet, and I thought, man, that looks really cool. I'm still in between, back and forth on different names and different things, but it was a really cool logo. And so my sister calls me and says, "Hey, I'm on 65. I stopped by. There's a helmet looks just like your Intimidator helmet, and they got 2 helmets here." When she got back, it was the Spartan helmet. There was no way after that point that no amount of money on the planet could have kept us from going with that name. If you look at the Spartan, how the tanks come back like a fastback. I've always been a huge fan of, my favorite cars are 67, 8, and 9 is my muscle cars. So it fits so well with the product. I mean, it was the name with the image, the look, and everyone says if Batman had a mower, it'd be a Spartan. So it has that cool, crisp, muscle look. So it fitted so well. There at the end of the building, the garage door's down, they're having a meeting. I load the mower up, back up to the door, and open the door, and I pull in on the mower. And so I spin it around, show the mower off, kill it, jump off, and we're heading to Louisville at that time. While we're at Louisville, every sales guy coming up wants to sell Spartan. I mean, it's so exciting to see the reaction from everyone in the show. John Swanson was with Exmark, and I didn't even know him at the time, but he came up, shook my hand, and congratulated me back in the market. And he was the only competition that did that, so I always remember that. So we had a big banner that said, once in every 15 to 20 years, something in the industry comes out that changes the industry. It said, the mowing industry will never be the same. And it's not been. If you go look at every mower out there today, there's some DNA from Spartan in it. So then reality is, when we come back, we got to produce. We got 1 the first day, and then we'd get 2, and then eventually could build 3 a day. So we expanding like crazy. And so I thought, man, this is the time that I finally get to build the building that I've always dreamed about having. So we launched this massive structure, building it in record time. So 7.5 months, we move in the first section. 8.5 months, move in the middle, which is all climate control, and then 9.5 months, move in the shipping. We got up to 180 mowers in one day, which was really good for us. You always look at something that gives you back more time, takes away frustration, and hits a price point. In the UTV market, there was a big segment that really did not need the four-wheel drive. That was using it more around their house, more around the neighborhood. And the UTV, you got to climb on and climb off of them. Where a golf cart, you fall on and fall off. And so we thought, well, let's take merge a UTV and a golf cart together and make the Envy. So it was originally neighborhood vehicle, and then so someone had the right idea to put an E and a Y on it, make it an Envy. That product's been a very good product for us. Rides great. It's got a brushless AC motor. The machine is very, very quiet, got lots of power. It's a machine that will definitely catch your attention. We're the fastest growing mower company ever in history. And the reason is our people. We had passion that went across every aspect of the company. It was a very, very exciting time to where this people was just calling, begging for the product. We was very, very loyal to our dealers. They was very loyal to us. And So we've got 500 plus dealers across the country that we're very, very thankful for. We're a small company with a bunch of people rooting for us. And so Batesville has been unbelievable. I mean, I think this would be hard to have done anywhere else in the country, but it happened with a lot of really, really sharp people. A guy that spoke one time that stuck with me, unbelievable. I can always remember him exact saying this. He said, "Give all that's asked of you, and then some." Anyone that gives all that is asked of them and then some, that is the definition of success. So I'm not saying I've done that, by no means. I've lacked a lot in what I've done. I've made lots of mistakes, but I've always thought about that. You know, if you succeed here and put time in here, there's some sacrifices that have to be made. And so I wish I could have been a little bit better to judge how much time to put in instead of putting in all the time, and be able to depend on others more to take that responsibility. You know, I think that I've neglected family and kids and grandkids. If I had it to do all over again, you know, I would probably try to have a little bit more of a balance in life, and try to give the attention and you know, where it needs to be. Like I said, owning your business is, you know, it can be difficult. You have to, you know, put things in perspective and balance things out. I tell you, one of the most fulfilling things that I get in business is when I hear the stories of our dealers. I was just at an event here recently, and a lady and her husband wanted to meet and tell us their story. This has happened so many times where they literally was, you know, about to have to file bankruptcy, and then got the Spartan brand, and then to hear how they were able to hire employees, keep everything paid up on time, and, you know, to hear them stories, there's nothing that more gratifying than that. And you know, to think about, you know, building a product and, you know, supply jobs for, you know, hundreds of people, and you know, it made their lives better. When you think about, you know, did we make a difference? Yeah, we made a difference. Spartan Intimidated, everything, you know, is up and going, picking up dealers. You know, we're picking up close to 100 dealers a year, growing like crazy. So the word out on the street is, man, Spartan is rolling. So we're getting a lot of people's attention. We're having different companies contact us about purchases, and, you know, and we're like, you know, we're not interested in selling. And then get a message from John Swanson, said, "Hey, can we stop by sometime?" We just happen to be in the neighborhood visiting dealers and want to know if we can come by. So they said, "Well, hey, we'd like to just talk to you about your company and all this right here." And I said, "Well, you know, we're not really interested in doing anything, but, you know, thank you so much. We really appreciate the attention and you coming in here and all that." And they said the right things, you know, that, hey, that we only buy healthy, strong companies. They take really good care of their people, and got an unreal reputation in the industry. So me and Becky's thinking, well, hey, you know, if it benefits the employees, we would be selfish not to do it.
We were not looking to sell the company when Toro approached us, but as we thought about it, this could be a win-win for the community. This could be a win-win for the employees. This would be a win-win for Robert and I.
That meant so much to me and Becky. You know, to be able to turn it over to someone that had that much care. The Toro company, what I was so impressed with is we see all these companies that have done very, very well. You know, them coming in, the company growing, it's staying there. They help the city, they help the state. You know, the employees. It's unreal what they was able to do. It's always your dream to drive by and see your product somewhere and be able to say, hey, that's built in our town.
I'm grateful. I'm excited. I love the company. I love the dealers. I love the product. It will always be our heart. We always want it to do well.
If you have a dream, realize there's going to be some struggles with the dream. There's going to be some sacrifices with the dream. But if you have the passion and love for what you do, people will see that, and that will resonate. There'll be people who want to be a part of that. That's cool to me. I like that.